The Great Reset stops here. The Charlie Kirk Show.
Welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. More with Congressman Burchett in just a second. First, I want to tell you about why Refy. So if you find yourself in a student loan hole, and if it's private student loans, these are not federal student loans, which the federal government should get out of the student loan business, by the way. But if these are private student loans and you find yourself in a hole, you got to check out yrefy.com. That's YREFY.com. They will help you refinance distressed or defaulted private student loans that others will not touch. It doesn't matter how bad your credit is. Doesn't matter what the story is. Okay, they're going to work with you, find out your monthly budget, and they're going to tailor a solution that will work with you. They even let you skip a payment every 6 months, up to 12 times without penalty. You don't have to ignore that mountain of student loan statements that are piling up on your kitchen table anymore. The good folks at YRefy will help you out. You just talk to them. It's not some nameless, faceless call center. You're gonna talk to a representative that knows how to get from point A to point B and get you a solution. You can call them 888-YRefy34, 888-YRefy34, or log on to yrefy.com. That's YREFY.com. May not be available in all 50 states, but if it's available in your state, you need to check them out. They support Turning Point USA. They support this show. They are good patriots, good people that you're definitely want to connect with. So we have a clip here from Charlie about Epstein. I want to see if we can fit it in. Go ahead and play 310.
And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would go to and park a couple $100 million and say, hey, can you get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do? Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis.
Ooh, so was Epstein just like a elaborate foreign honeypot op? We're going to ask Congressman Burchett when we get back. We're welcome back National Radio in about 3 seconds. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. We are joined by Congressman Burchett and Mikey McCoy, if that is his real name. Congressman, I want to get to this video that made a ton of waves yesterday. It's a little bit longer, so maybe we'll cut it off halfway through, but go ahead and play cut 291.
Just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent, of tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense. And, and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now, here they've had it for 4 years, and they, obviously, if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. And now they're all, let's get it out, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion.
Congressman, so you tried to call their bluff here is what I'm seeing. And, and now Adam Kinzinger saying, who's not even in Congress, he's coming at you saying, oh, this is wrong. It was not a UC. Democrats didn't oppose it. What's the story here, and what were you driving at?
I actually put another video out today just to correct some of those folks like Adam. I used to sit in front of Adam. I'm not sure what happened. I think I know what happened to Adam. I'd love to talk to somebody sometime about it, what my theory is. But anyway, I clarified exactly what I did. I put it out, unanimous consent. You have to, and by definition, it's unanimous consent. It has to be unanimous. So the Republican leadership agreed with it. Speaker Johnson did. And Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats disagreed with it. They did not want it out. And it was Ro Khanna's bill. It didn't affect Massey's bill at all. His whatever they want to do with that is fine. But I'm just sick of it because yesterday proved my point with all that garbage coming out on Trump that was just falsified. Look, they want to grab articles out of that thing. They want to pick and choose, and probably both sides do. And that's fine. That's politics. But America deserves a little better. Just throw it all out there and let them decide and cut through all the chase. Because what they're going to do is it's going to go to Rules Committee. It's going to go through all this other nonsense that we really don't need. And puts too much power in people's hands, and then they just pontificate on it for hours, and it gives the news that hates Trump, that hates America, just more ammo to do it. And I just said, look, put it on unanimous consent, and then it says everyone voted for it. Nobody can say they didn't vote for it, and it puts it on the dadgum. It puts it on out, and it's done, and then it goes to the Senate. But
I love that.
They want a dog and pony show, and Khanna is a Democrat. He represents one of the most, actually the wealthiest area of the country is Silicon Valley out there in California, I guess. So he even sent me a message and said, thank you, brother. More or less, we're friends.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to go visit his district. I'm going to bring him out here on the farm and let the donkeys chase him around a little bit. And so,
Congressman, I want to get your point on something. I'm so glad you called their bluff, because you're right. If they would have had something 4 years of Joe Biden, they would have released it. Let's be honest. But who do you think Jeffrey Epstein was? What was his? What was that about? We got about 2 minutes here. Please tell us what you think the truth of this whole story is.
He's a dirtbag. He's burning in hell, of course. And I'm glad I would have sent him there myself. I don't think he committed suicide. I think something happened to him. But that's neither here nor there. I think he was out there, and he was a flagrant name dropper. He was an egomaniac, and so he put his name out there, and these groups seized upon him, and then he moved in the direction that they needed, and he came up with this scheme of being a money manager. And in other countries, I think they I don't think he had any soul. I just think they contracted with him, and he got caught up in it. And as those guys do, and he just, as I see a lot of these pedophiles do, and he cost a lot of ladies their lives. And that's what he did. And countries used him. And yeah, the honeypot exists. But more or less now, today, they hire your wife and or your girlfriend to work in some no-show $200,000 job, and then you just vote their will. But the way they work the honeypots is, you're in some foreign. I don't go on these trips overseas. That's not my bag. But they go overseas. You're sitting at some bar, and they know what you like, because they own all the porn sites. They're monitoring everything you do. And all your thoughts. So if you're into ladies, there's going to be some pretty lady laughing at your jokes, and you're like redheads or whatever, and they're going to bring a redhead in, and next thing you know, you're in a motel room with them, sleeping with them, and then you think, well, I just pulled off the perfect crime. It's out of the country. The wife doesn't know. The kids doesn't know. It just had a night of whatever, and then you're getting ready to make a vote, and some person it's usually always somebody walks up, and they've got an envelope in their hand or something, and they say, hey, I've got, how are you going to vote on this? Well, I'm going to be voting for it. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, yeah, I am. I said, no. I said, were you in a motel room in Istanbul? And then they go, oh, crap. He said, man, we don't want that out. And they go, oh, no, I can't have that out. And he goes, oh, look, we need to vote against this bill. And then that's how they do it. They own you.
I'm going to hold you just a few seconds over the break. More with Congressman Burchett. Just 1 second.